Ever wonder why some people seem to be able to push through anything, while others give up at the first sign of struggle? Let me ask you something. How many times have you started something and quit? It's not your fault. You don't need more motivation. You need something much stronger. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an unstoppable mindset, no matter who you are or where you're starting from. Most people don't quit because they're weak. They quit because they've never developed the system to survive discomfort. They never had a plan. And the worst part is, they'll wake up one day and realize that all their potential got buried under easy choices. We're taught that mindset is about being positive, but that's not true. Real mindset is forged in resistance. Here's a trap. We live in a world that's designed to make everything easier, more convenient, more comfortable, but that comfort is killing your edge. I used to be completely controlled by dopamine. I'd play video games, scroll social media, and chase instant gratification. It was more comfortable to binge Netflix than work on a side project. You know, it was easier to order takeout than cook a healthy meal. And it was easier to play video games than to worry about why my goals and my dreams were slowly slipping away. So if you want to develop an unstoppable mindset, the first step is simple. You have to get used to being uncomfortable. A couple of years ago, I started my own video game company. I had many amazing ideas in my head, but when I tried to turn it into reality, I constantly got disappointed. The products I would create didn't look anything like the idea I had in my head. It wasn't fun to play and it looked like shit. So I gave up and I switched to a new idea. Looking back, the real problem wasn't the games, it was my mindset. I was so obsessed with the outcome, not with becoming the kind of person who finishes things. That's when I realized success doesn't come from goals, it comes from identity. Who you are determines what you do. Identity before outcome. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity. You must decide, who am I becoming? Unstoppable people, they don't just set goals. They embody the type of person who follows through even when it's hard. If I was to set a goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers in 1 year, that's a good goal. It's concrete and it's specific, but it's too big and it's too far out. But even worse, it's focused on outcome, and that outcome is completely out of my control. I can't directly control if someone subscribes to my channel or not. So instead, I can focus on the type of person a successful YouTuber would be. That's the person that's releasing a new video every week. The more times I'm video editing, script writing, or filming, I'm putting in one more rep that aligns with my desired identity. If you want to start a side hustle, then don't just think about the end goal. Instead, ask yourself, if I had already built a successful business, what would my day look like? How would I show up? How would I think? What would I say yes to and what would I completely ignore? Would I be scrolling endlessly on TikTok? Or would I treat my time like it mattered because I had clients who were depending on me, I had customers waiting on me? The fastest way to become that person is to start acting like them now. Because the current you isn't enough. If the current you was enough, then you would have already reached your goals. So stop waiting to make it before taking it seriously. Become the kind of person your future success requires before the success shows up. Okay, process over emotion. When you feel motivated, great, work. When you feel tired, you still have to work. Mindset isn't about feeling good. It's about doing what matters, regardless of how you feel. That's easier said than done, though. Before, no matter how much I wanted to do work, when it came to sitting down and actually doing it, I couldn't focus. That's why I needed to make it as easy as possible to feel better about doing the work. So think of what you can do now that will have the biggest impact on you being able to show up for work. For example, I started with my health. My posture was so bad that when I sat down, all I could think about was the pain in my neck or my shoulders. So I focused on correcting my posture, eating properly, exercising regularly, and sleeping well. I looked online for solutions and I started implementing them. Then the next step was dopamine. I noticed if I just watched YouTube for entertainment or I scrolled social media, I could spend hours doing nothing. All that time was being wasted. But even if I noticed that, it wasn't easy to stop. So the next step was to prioritize the issue of time sinks and dopamine drains. I looked up solutions for that as well, like removing all social media apps off my phone. So the key is to being aware of what's holding you back and to actively solve that problem. After I stopped social media, I thought, how can I still make it easier to show up for work? The easiest time to get work done is when you have no distractions and your motivation is at its highest. For me, that's 5 a.m. in the morning. My phone is in sleep mode and no one's texting me anyway. It's also the first thing that I'm doing in the day. Plus, the night before, I've already decided what my main task will be. If I was to try and cram in all my work at night, I might be too tired, or I might mess up my sleep schedule trying to finish all my work. When I used to come home from work, I would be too exhausted to think about anything else. So how am I making it easier for myself when my willpower is at its lowest? Figure out the easiest way that the future you has a fighting chance of getting what you want done now. Once you develop your system for putting in consistent work, that's when you become unstoppable. Proof through reps. You don't need confidence, you need evidence. Every time you show up, every rep, every decision, it's a vote for the person you're becoming. Consistency creates belief, and belief creates momentum, and that momentum will push you to becoming unstoppable. I recently reread Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I think it's an amazing book that helps you develop the habits you need to reach your desired identity. Completing a whole project might feel overwhelming, and that feeling might stop you from even putting in the first rep. So just start with the easiest step, showing up. On the days that you really don't feel like doing anything, you need to already have planned out what the least you can do is. If you're writing a book, maybe just write one sentence, or just open the Word document. Doing just a little bit every day is better than doing a lot sporadically, because you're ingraining the habit and you're enabling yourself to do more in the future. You're keeping your priority and your goal in your mind every single day until it's all you can think about. So if I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it's this. Stop waiting to feel ready, just start. Mindset isn't something you get, it's something you build, brick by brick, decision by decision, and rep by rep. And the sooner you start, the easier it gets, the stronger you'll become. If this resonated with you, then here's what I want you to do. In the comments, tell me one habit that you're going to stick with this week, even when you don't feel like it. That's how it starts. It's not about perfection, it's about being the kind of person that shows up. If you want more content about building real discipline and identity, then hit that like button and subscribe. Let's keep building.